Hi, this is Lynn.
And this is Paul.
We're along the way.
And today we're going to be dealing with a tip for church health. And that tip is put people before paper.
Yeah, it's a little slogan Paul had to come up with to help decide how he was going to spend his time.
Yeah.
And I mean, he has to, in ministry, he's been, a lot of times he had to work a second job.
Mm-hmm.
So balancing that time between work and church and family
Yeah.
is a balancing act. And so he came up with that people over paper.
Yeah. And I think in part because of my own tendency was to get my paperwork done because that's not natural. People are natural to me, and responding to people is natural. So I had forced myself to do a lot of administrative kinds of things well to kind of put that in its neat box. And then it became an irritant if that got interrupted. uh, and so everything was got out of sorts that way. So when I say people before paper, that doesn't mean every person's need trumps what you're doing. It means recognizing when those needs need to be addressed and responded to then. Uh,
And I think the key to that is, like, if you're in sermon prep and somebody calls and they really need to see the pastor now, not tomorrow, not next week, now.
mhm.
Um, Having the freedom to know that the Lord is going to provide that message, and He will help you make up that time. Uh,
Not only help you make it up, but I never use those circumstances as sermon illustrations, and that's just not a good practice. However, they will often inform the sermon preparation after that. The Lord will show you things in that interaction with that person who's been an interruption uh, that you need to.
oh, I was just thinking of some of your messages where people came up to you and said, "We just talked about that yesterday," and all of a sudden, and you say, "My sermon was already done
That's right.
before we talked about it," but the Lord had put on him what was the need that was in the congregation
Hmm.
for that week.
Yeah.
And so the sermon just dovetailed into that.
Yeah.
Um,
We all have different personalities, and pastors are shepherds, and so typically we have a heart for people and hurting people, and we want to be there to help. We also have administrative responsibilities and family responsibilities, and our time can feel really pressed. And when it gets that way, and an emergency comes to our door, or somebody just really needs you now, comes on the phone or something like that, the tendency can so easily be, I'm too busy. And you may say it nicely, but you're turning people away at a point where you would better serve them, you'd better serve the Lord, and frankly, you'd even better serve your sermon preparation or whatever by putting the paper down and meeting with those people. People before paper. Uh,
and I think it's important. There are also some people that just want your attention all the
mhm,
time, and
mhm,
those people need to be told, no, it's not the right time. But having me
mhm,
uh, go through in our earlier churches when it was just me as your secretary, um, and helping you out that way, fielding some of those questions and say, well, he's really busy right now. Can he call you later? I'll pray with you now. You know what?
mhm,
What? Um, Unless it's really important, and then I will interrupt you
mhm.
and stuff. And now you have your secretary, who does the fielding, so I don't have to.
And if you are blessed enough to have a secretary, train your secretary that way. Uh, our secretary knows that on my sermon prep days, which for me right now are Tuesday and Thursday, um, there are a few other things that I take care of, but her instruction is to field all phone calls on Tuesday and Thursday unless they come from my wife or they come from one of the elders or in her judgment, this is someone who needs to speak to the pastor now. And then she comes and asks me. It's a great way to do it because and whether it's your wife or your secretary, it's a great way to do it because people know you still care. They also know you have other things in life that you're responsible for. So it's good training all the way around.
Yeah. And because they sit under your ministry, they do know that you put together the time to put together your sermons.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
So-
So hope that was a helpful tip. People
Yep.
before paper. If you have questions about that, feel free to put it in the comment section. We'd love to hear your questions and have your comments, your insights on the same topic.
well, we appreciate that. And we thank you for being a part of this ministry, for following us. Hit the like button, subscribe, so that when we have videos come up, you'll be notified of them. And
if you would like us to come to your location to do this ministry, we want to come, and our goal is to be able to come for free. And so call us up, see what we can work out.
yeah. So, from Lynn,
And Paul,
this is Along the Way.
we'll see you down the road.
Bye bye.